I'll tell like my first impression is just like um both teams are just moving furniture. I feel like you have a room like what I think I'll switch my dress out and put my short dresser here, my long dresser here. Like it feels different, but it's not really different. I don't think it moves the needle for either team. Um, I'm not gonna say. I hope people don't sit here and pretend that Prime John Wall is the same caliber of player as Prime Russell Westbrook. I feel like that's two levels of stardom right there. Um, I don't really. This doesn't really get me emotionally happy for either side.
I'm kind of happy for John Wall because I feel like he's trying to like gear up for a legitimate kind of comeback for himself, and I think to get out of Rose Bar, I mean DC is a good thing for him. And Houston is just it's a different conference, it's a different everything, and I feel like this, and I tweeted it. I feel like Harden's out of there now. For sure, because I feel like recently with Russ and Harden both expressing that they wanted out, and Harden's like, yo, I want to go. I mean, apparently he's saying he wants to go specifically to Brooklyn. I feel like this just confirms it because like he's gone through Dwight Howard, Chris Paul, Russell Westbrook now. Like, what would he look like trying to now be like, all right, bet John Wall, what's good? Like, let's get it shaken.
John
While
Wall, like
I feel like both of them in their primes could be a lethal tandem, but he's been through so many gauntlets of different kinds of looks now. I feel like this solidifies it. Russ is first and James is next, and he knows where he wants to go.
yeah, look, to me that would make it more exciting, right? Like if the Rockets aren't done and they're like, all right, we're gonna trade James Harden, and if
Yeah.
the Brooklyn thing does work, now I think it's interesting for everybody involved because you get the obvious, pivot of James Harden and Brooklyn with those guys, but also Houston, you assume like you get young stars and pieces in return, and then John Wall becomes their vet, a determined John Wall with a chip on his shoulder, and DeMarcus Cousins is down there, so you get that
I was
old
just
Kentucky
about
pair
to check.
try to make
I
it.
was about to say,
Yeah,
correct me if I'm
yeah,
wrong, but
yeah,
isn't Boogie there too? So that,
yeah,
of
yeah.
course, people have been
So
waiting
like
for that
now
for a
I
while
feel much
too. That
exactly. So you
reunion.
get John Wall Boogie reunion with a bunch of young pups to raise, like like a Levert or a Dinwiddie potentially or something like that.
Yo,
Now I'm
that's
in,
cool. That's
but
cool.
like
Yeah.
yeah, but like before that, like I guess even if nothing else happens, I guess everybody kind of feels better. Like Russ goes to the Wizards. He's not in Houston anymore. He wanted a more on the ball type of role. Neither he nor James Harden likes small ball. So he gets to go there and he gives Bradley Beal. The Wizards have clearly made it. They've made it clear that they're going to build around Bradley Beal, which I heard surprised John Wall. Whether that's true or not, John Wall gets to go down to Houston, and if James Harden stays, I'm sure he envisions it as like a co-star situation, and then hopefully Boogie is healthy. But like, I don't know, like I said, unless it's something like you said where they're not done and there's one more move to be made, I don't think this moves the needle basketball wise for anybody.
But for Russ, I don't think this was one of the places he would like to be traded. I don't think this was like a I mean, I don't think DC is a spot that he was looking to go as like, yeah, send me there. I feel like they kind of just did a move that was good for them, like pretty much.
Yeah, look, but I mean, like, if you wanted to trade Russ, like, where even would he? Because, like, honestly, like, at this point
Yeah.
in your career, if you're Russ, like, if you're Chris Paul, like, if you're guys like that, you want to compete for a title. But, like, what title team needs what he has to bring to the table? Because even at best during the trade discussions, most people are writing articles about how Michael Jordan should trade for him. He should go to the Hornets.
Yeah.
You know, like, that's kind of like the same situation anyway. Like, I just
Yeah.
don't know what contending team he would went to, and it's just tough with that contract. But I mean, I think him and Bradley built like they're gonna make the playoffs, and they have some nice young pieces there. But like they like Rui Hashimura, is supposed to be really good, but that bench is one of the most shallow benches in the league, so they have to still
Yeah.
build a roster around that. But
Yeah.
Bradley Beal is that special of a talent. Like we talk about how Devin Booker can score a bunch of points. Like Bradley Beal, he's the first guy to average 30 a game and not make the All Star team.
I'm saying like he's that good. He's
Yeah,
that good where and like I have nothing against Russ. I still love Russ, but it's just like Bradley Beal is that good and he just proved even without John Wall, like on the ball, running the team just
Yeah.
as the point man. Like just give him the ball and let him go. Russ, I mean, there's again, I agree with you. There's only a few situations where Russ is gonna make sense, especially not on contenders. But I felt like a Charlotte situation was cool for him because it is Mike, and it is a team
Yeah.
that desperately just needs someone who can just go and just make them relevant. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
DC, they already have that in Bradley Beal. It's like this isn't the time, a prime, like again, this isn't the time. So I'm just even wondering what that looks like for them, and for Russ.
I mean, I think so. Like, are the Washington Wizards a better team than they were right now?
I
I
mean,
mean, I
yeah,
think they are. I think they are because I
with
think,
a healthy, but like if John Wall was coming back healthy, right, and if John Wall was gonna, like now you're looking at whatever Russ does next versus whatever John Wall does next.
and this
We're
is where
gonna
I
say
gotta
like,
put,
okay,
yeah.
they
All right, so I gotta mention what my boy Remus said. He said to make sure to mention that Westbrook has double the career points, nearly double the All Stars, and has 9 All NBAs to John Wall's 1. So these are not equivalent players, even at their peaks, right? Like, is Russell Westbrook clearly the better player? Which is why I would assume that the Wizards are a
yeah.
better team today, technically.
Yeah. Like, I mean, at Russ's peak, he's done more than what Wall has done thus far at his peak. I just feel like Russ on his decline, which I mean, he had really great moments like this past season, not
Yeah,
good,
he did.
like great. And I mean, I felt like that was also a product of Houston's system. He was just starting to really work well in his role in that and was feeling it out. I still think he can play well and get 20 points on any NBA team right now. I mean, he can still do that. It's just about what he's doing to really contribute to a championship team. Like if he can, if like I don't know, I feel like he can be cool in DC and really help Bradley Beal in a lot of ways. But it's like that's what you're there to do. You're there to help Bradley Beal. And
Yeah,
I don't accuse Russ of like not willing to be the back seat. Like I just think Russ just is just he just doesn't know anything except go, But like if he can just use that in constructive ways, that's always been my thing about Russ. Like if he can just like take a deep breath and just like try to meditate out on the floor. Sometimes I feel like he would just be the most lethal player because
yeah.
he really, I mean, as an individual force, he still can't be stopped. I don't care about percentages and all that. I'm not even looking at all that. I'm just saying like he still can get off the ground. He can still get to the mid-range shot. He can still get to the basket. He still makes things happen. So I'm not doubting him.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. So like in January, he was the best player in the league for a month, and we've seen that from Russ. Like when he decides like it's gonna be efficient and he's gonna make smart decisions, he is like because of just how he is physically, he is unstoppable. And from Houston's standpoint, like I think that they think they're gonna keep Harden, and this just feels like a last desperate grab. Like, all right, here's John Wall, here's Boogie. And look, if everybody's healthy and everybody, that's a big if. You
It's not
banking on
terrible.
J Wall to be healthy. It's not
Yeah, no,
terrible. Like
exactly. It is a risk
you know,
though. It's a risk.
it's a humongous risk. But you know what? If everybody is healthy and John Wall is in the best shape of his life, and DeMarcus Cousins in the best shape of his life, and they play well, that's an interesting team right there with real defenders. Offense, John Wall could pass the ball. It's not like I would say their miss Russ is passing, but John Wall is a good playmaker. But it's just it's too big of an if, and I think you're right. Like even if it's not now, like they're gonna lose James Harden eventually because like I mean I wish John Wall and Boogie the best, but getting them both back at a good enough level to make a difference, that's a huge ask, especially in season one of what this trinity would be.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I just feel like, yeah, that's a lot,
Yeah.
that's a lot to be banking on. But yeah, I don't know. Both sides, it's just so weird. Like I don't understand how that's gonna pan out for either side. But it's definitely Houston, more so Houston trying to make that that desperation move. I mean, my thing is like, if you're DC, if you're keeping tabs on John Wall and you see some like whatever his developments are, like I don't know what they are personally. Like I videos are out and stuff, but like who really knows like what I mean, he looks like he's moving well and doing, but we don't know until we
Everybody does
know.
it. Yeah,
So it's
everybody
like,
does it,
yeah,
you
I
know?
mean, so like what do they know or don't know that we know or don't know or do know? Is it what I mean? So like
Yeah.
they traded him. So I'm going back to comparing like John Wall trying to make this comeback, where John Wall at his best, like look, he may not be a Russell Westbrook, but he was really, really good. Like John Wall and Derrick Rose were neck and
Yeah.
neck for that little stretch right there, right? So John Wall in this comeback season versus Russ on his like decline season, but he can still like kill you. It's an interesting thing. So essentially, yeah, I feel like most of us are just like doing the Spider-Man joint, like
Yeah, no, I just feel like, if anybody's a winner in this, the biggest winner in this is John Wall for all the reasons you just described.
I
Fresh
agree.
start, goes to Houston, don't got to worry about them building the team around Bradley Beal. Whether James Harden stays or goes, you got DeMarcus Cousins down there. So, like, if I'm John Wall, like, I'm cool. I'm going to
Yeah, I'm
Houston.
happy for him.
The price for the strip clubs in Houston just went all the way up. You already know. You
Straight
know what I
up.
mean? People counting
Straight
that
up.
they Christmas bonuses in advance, and like it's gonna be a cool situation. But and the biggest loser might be Russ because it's just like I feel like the last of his prime is gonna be wasted playing 4 or 5 seed playoff basketball, and it's just if they're lucky, if they don't get overtaken by like Atlanta or something like
That's what
that.
I'm
So it's just,
saying. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
it's just like I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. That both of them is like it's strange, but I mean, we'll see what happens for Russ and Harden. But now we'll see what happens with Harden next. I'm still not sold that like that's I mean, I guess maybe Russ is gonna waste away in DC. That's terrible.
Well,
That's
they
so
said the
terrible.
asking price for Harden. I just read it remains a young star plus pieces, so it's got to be something like that. So the
He
obvious one again is the Karis LeVert, plus pieces from Brooklyn, but I don't know if they do that.
yeah, yeah. We'll see. Yeah, Harden we'll see. Harden should be next.